Muslims have no evidence that Jesus was a Muslim. Now, they're going to say they do because a Muslim is one who submits to God, but as I've said in a previous video, this is a very weak definition, because anybody who submits to God would be considered a Muslim according to their thinking. But there is not a Muslim alive or who has ever existed who would ever claim that God is their father. Yet we see in the Gospels, the earliest eyewitness testimony of Jesus' life, that he did indeed claim that God was his father 169 times in the Gospels. And yet Muslims want to claim that Jesus is just a prophet whom submitted to God. And yet the Quran makes clear that Allah has no children. And yet we see Jesus in the Gospels claiming that God is his father, or more than that, he's also claiming that God and himself are one. In John chapter 10 verse 30, it says, I and the Father are one, which is Jesus claiming to be, of course, one with the Father, but more so it also points to the divinity of the Lord Jesus Christ. But more than that, even if you look in the Gospel of John chapter 17 verse 5, it says, Father, glorify me with the glory I had with you before the world began. Jesus is claiming to share the same glory with the Father whom he was there with before the world began. And yet Muslims want to claim that Jesus was only a mere Muslim prophet. And yet they have actually no historical evidence to bring to bear to support that claim, because their definition of a Muslim is so weak and fragile, and yet they're going to try as hard as they might, but they cannot actually produce anything of substance to support their claim.